those of you who don't know me, my name is Dulcie Mills, Debbie De Louise in real life, and it is my pleasure to be speaking with you today at Sandra's wonderful Reader's Garden. I will be talking about my recently published novel, Cloudy Rainbow, which I consider a paranormal romance, or if you'd like, a virtual romance, as it features a virtual world that is similar but somewhat different from Second Life. So let me talk a few minutes about the themes in my book, and then I will read a few excerpts from the book. The main themes in Cloudy Rainbow are love, loss, technology, and the paranormal or supernatural. The story spans 16 years in the life of the main character, Dulcie Mills, a computer programmer who happens to come from my own area of the country, Long Island, New York. The book is divided into 5 parts that are titled with the names of the 5 main characters and take place during different time periods of Dulcie's life. When the book begins in the fall of 2007, it is the 3rd anniversary of the car crash that claimed the life of Dulcie's fiancé, Frank. She reflects on her life since this tragic accident. Recently, to help ease some of the pain and loneliness that her 15-year-old cat can't, Dulcie has joined a virtual world called Virtual Universe, where she has made a male friend whose avatar is called Nero. In the early chapters of this section, she is beginning to feel Nero may be interested in her as more than an online friend, and is both afraid and excited about this possibility. As the story unfolds, and I won't give away too much here for those of you who haven't read it, or might be reading it, or might want to read it, the virtual world and the real world begin to merge as Dulcie's past and present also merge through flashbacks, dreams, and a culminating scene of a virtual seance that mixes the themes of technology and paranormal in an interesting and unique way. The first excerpt I'm going to read is very early in the book, when Dulcie, whose avatar's name is PC Lady, meets with Nero. Nero appeared on the screen, prompt as usual. His short, straight dark hair was very conservative compared to many of the hairstyles she'd seen in the game. "Good evening, PC Lady," he typed in the bottom chat window. "It's good to see you again." See? That wasn't exactly what was going on, unless you considered that they both could view their online images. But she replied positively, "Yes, Nero, it's nice to see you, too. Would you like to sit and talk? There's a nice jazz club that's opening on Rainbow Island, but there's a few things I wanted to talk to you about before we go." Dulcie tapped her keyboard directional keys to follow Nero over to a nearby bench under a willow tree. It was a somewhat secluded spot, although a few avatars were passing by on their way to different dance clubs or meeting places on this busy Friday night. Most of them were single in real life, she imagined, and were sick of the single bars. But was this a safer alternative? She doubted it. She left-clicked next to Nero to join him as he sat on the bench. Suddenly, her chat text was replaced with a private message. "Let's chat in private," he explained. "I'm not comfortable with everyone in Virtual Universe listening to us." "That's fine with me," she replied privately in kind. The screen was blank for a few minutes. Then came his reply. "I'd like to know more about you. Is that Kay?" Dulcie hesitated. Was this what she was hoping for and fearing at the same time? "What would you like to know?" "As much as you'd like to tell me. I know some people don't feel it wise to reveal personal information to people they meet on the internet, or through chat rooms or even virtual games like Virtual Universe. And I understand that that. I just want to know a little more about you." Dulcie's fingers were shaking again as she typed her reply. "All I can say right now is that I'm single, I live in New York State, and I have a cat." LOL, Nero keyed in the computer acronym for laugh out loud. Was he mocking her? She was reading too much into this. "All the same for me, minus the cat. But I don't have allergies and do get along with felines and females, of course." He was being witty. "We could actually be neighbors and not know it." Interesting thought. In a game where people from all over the world play, it's still a small world, but New York is a large state. Can you be more specific? Warning bells rang in Dulcie's head, so she just added, "That will have to be enough for now. For now. Want to go to Rainbow Island and dance the night away?" "Maybe for an hour. I have to go to work tomorrow, and my cat is waiting for me in bed." "I'm going to work too, but I don't have anyone waiting in my bed." "Is that why you play?" She hadn't meant to ask the question, but it came out involuntarily. "No, I'm not looking for women if that's what you mean." Nero rose from the bench. "It's just a bit of amusement for me, but I'm glad I met a friend." "You're not gay, are you?" Her mouth was really going to get her in trouble. It just seemed that when a man referred to a woman as a friend, that was usually the code for homosexuality. At least that's what Valerie had told her. Was the hesitation in his reply an indication that he actually was gay? An indication he was insulted? Or just the slowing up in the speed of his modem or the game interface? "No way," he finally said. "I date a lot of women in real life. I just haven't found the one I want to spend the rest of my life with yet. There was somebody once, but anyway, I'm not in this game to hunt for virtual lovers, if that answers your question." "I'm sorry," Dulcie said, and she really was. She had no right to put him on the spot. For all she knew, he was a decent guy who just wanted to share some online time with her, away from the complications of physical pressures. The rest of the evening went downhill from there. They did try the new jazz club, but after 2 dances, Dulcie made an excuse, which actually was true, that her cat was asking to be fed, and that she might as well log off for the night. Nero didn't object. Their conversation had been stilted since her stupid question to him about his sexual orientation, and she didn't blame him. The next excerpt is still in part 1, but it is a dream rather than an actual virtual encounter. They were ice skating on virtual ice. PC Lady had on her white fur-trimmed ice skating outfit and her best designer blades from Virtual Universe. Nero was beside her, guiding her with his gloved hand, and as they rounded the frozen lake, "It's great to see you again, lady. I thought you'd given up on me." Dulcie could practically feel the cold, see the mist from their breath, although, of course, all that came on the screen was the chat box. "Don't be silly. I've been away. I've missed you." They rounded the curve of the pond a bit too quickly, and Nero's blade hit something. His animation stopped. Dulcie was skating to his side, but he was already submerged in the cracked ice. "What happened?" "The ice was too thin, Dulcie. I'm going under." "I have to help you." She took off her blue scarf and threw one end to him. "Take this. I'll pull you out." "No," he urged her. "You'll be pulled under, too." This wasn't real. So why was she beginning to panic? The ice beneath her started to crack, and then they were both in the water, struggling to keep afloat. It was ice cold, but it was only virtual. She had to keep reminding herself of that. The snow on the trees around the pond, the gingerbread-like houses dotting the hills around them, all replicas, all false, all graphic illusions, and yet not unlike a very vivid dream. I'm sorry, Nero." She could feel herself going under, and reached her hand out to him. They touched briefly. "I love you," he said, in a voice very similar to Frank's. And then he was under the water, gone from her sight.